DESTRUCTOID recently made a post about the issue of Scalpers in the upcoming SNES Mini titled, "eBay is trying and failing to beat out the SNES Mini Scalpers." They posed the question alongside the article, quote, "Does anyone have any suggestions on how eBay could stop Scalpers?" Well, I couldn't help but respond to this article and their question on their Facebook post, and if you click the link in the description below, the article reads more like a thought since it's only really a paragraph in length, because it's pointing the blame at the wrong entity entirely. Judging by the support of my comment, which I'll share in a moment, I thought I'd make a video on this topic, since it's obviously something many of us are thinking. First though, the console of course isn't even out yet. The release isn't scheduled until September 27th, 2017 in the US, just shy of a year from last year's November 11th release of the NES Classic Mini, which we all know was a complete and absolute mess because Nintendo didn't produce enough of these nostalgic emulation boxes. Following the same marketing strategy as they did with many of their amiibo, the company rode the wave of nostalgic hype in the online and traditional media, knowing full well that there would be huge demand for the retro emulation box, while at the same time producing too few of them, which ultimately created an artificial scarcity which drove up prices. And of course, despite what Reggie says on behalf of Nintendo of America, looking at the explosion of online analytics of the device, everyone knew even months in advance that it was going to be huge. There was such hype that instantly the NES Classic Mini was sold out, with too few having been made to meet the obvious demand. We saw scalpers taking to the internet to resell the emulation box at astronomically high prices. Even to this day you can still find the NES Classic Mini, which has an MSRP of $60, upwards to around $300 and beyond. It's absolutely absurd. As awesome as it is, I can't help but laugh at the poor-minded people with more money than brains who threw their cash at scalpers for this little emulation box. Well, enter the SNES Mini, Nintendo's answer to the Super Nintendo era's nostalgia with its new 16-bit mini emulation box. And what are we seeing from the marketplace already? Well, the same damn thing is happening all over again. All possible pre-orders for the box are completely sold out. Those lucky enough to have been able to nail down one of these pre-orders are already trying to sell something they don't even have yet. Taking to eBay, we keep seeing people trying to turn a profit on the new SNES Mini. So again, we arrive back to the original point here. DESTRUCTOID, in addition to their title of the article about eBay scalpers, had asked on their Facebook page, "Does anybody have any suggestions on how we could stop eBay scalpers?" So here it is, DESTRUCTOID, Nintendo, and anyone else who's listening. Here's your solution. Get eBay to get Nintendo to produce enough of these so that there is no artificial scarcity. The problem here is Nintendo, plain and simple. And that's really all there is to it. Despite eBay's anti-scalping policy, the resale posts persist. They can't stop them. The reality is they can't do anything about it. The scalpers are out in full force. And yes, they are the scum of the earth. However, as ruthless as these dirtbags are, the real culprit here is Nintendo. As Christopher Grant wrote at Polygon last November, NES Classic Edition Shortages prove that Nintendo is either underhanded or incompetent. Look, the reality is that Nintendo could easily abandon their strategy of creating artificial scarcity around their products and instead flood the market with them to meet the natural demand that exists. This would ensure that every stocking stuffer this holiday season would see their SNES Minis present, and give everyone the chance to play the previously unreleased Star Fox 2 on an official Nintendo console instead of it being emulated on PCs. Enter the topic of our next video, where we talk about the hypocrisy of Nintendo when it comes to their stance on emulation. It's good enough for them, but you're a criminal if you do it. I'm Jake King, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.